Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Daniel Ivan bin Zulkahide, and today I am going to talk about members profile. Right off the bat, I am a manager of ASUS company, and my role is to plan, oversee, organize, and motivate a project team. Under my supervision is Ifan Adam as a salesman, Muhammad Altaf as a cashier, and Muhammad Azri as the customer assistants.
So right now guys, I will explain to you about 1.2, which is organizational background. So we know that ASUS base is at Taiwan, and it have multinational computer hardware and consumer electronics company that was established in 1989. To creating products for today's and tomorrow's smart life, ASUS is recognized as the world's #1 motherboard and gaming brand, as well as a top 3 consumer notebook vendor. ASUS became widely known in North America when it revolutionized the PC industry in 2007 with it is with its ePC. Today, the company is pioneering new mobile trends with the ASUS ZenFone series, and it is rapidly developing virtual and augmented reality products, as well as IoT devices and robotic technologies. So we know that basically that this ASUS hardware, it already gained beliefs from gamers, and they believe that ASUS can help them to improve we say improve their game style with the ASUS, and make them easy and to upgrade their style of gaming. So yeah, it's meant that ASUS have already gained beliefs from gamers, and already it was a good sign. So most recently, ASUS introduced Zenbo, a smart home robot designed to provide assistance, entertainment, and companionship to families. So this Zenbo, we know that it was similar to maid. So a maid job was to do a homework in our home. So basically, the Zenbo can do clean our home, and also sometimes they can provide entertainment for us if our life was so boring. They can give us entertainment. So this Zenbo robot was really helpful if our life was busy with our job. So this robot Zenbo can help us to easily our life. So yes, I recommended this Zenbo robot to all people. In 2015 and 2016, Fortune magazine recognized ASUS as one of the world's most admired companies, and for the past 4 years, Interbrand has ranked ASUS Taiwan's most valuable international brand. The company has more than 70,000 employees, including a world-class R&D team. So 70,000 employees already show how ASUS is seriously to make the world is better in the hardware aspect. So we can believe this ASUS was seriously to improve our hardware system in this world. Driven by innovation and committed to quality, ASUS already won 4,385 awards and earned approximately $13.3 billion in revenue in 2016. With that much of awards, it shows how ASUS is already recognized by all the world, all the nation in this world. Yeah, people really need to use this hardware system. We can really rely on them because they already won about 4,000 awards. So how can you say right now? It's already an amazing amount of awards. So that's all for organizational background. We move to 1.3 with it, which is organizational chart. Thank you.
1.3 Organizational chart. Okay. Firstly, we have here CEO, and connected to it is management representative. And then we have two connected to management representative or MR, business unit coordinators and functional unit coordinators. Next, which is connected to management representative or MR, is audit committee, sustainable supply chain team, green product team, quality management system team, and health and safety management system team. Okay, let me briefly explain about these two. Business unit coordinators, whereas the people inside these units is to maintain or is to observe the business market. Is it going up or is it going down? Next is the functional unit, whereas the people in this unit would monitor the database, the system for our company.
Okay, I'm Muhammad Altaf bin Zakaria, as a cashier in the company. Provide database support. Okay, I explain 1.4 current system description. Okay. First one, a supervisor must manage by one branch and a branch must be managed by one and only one supervisor. Every time a supervisor manage a branch, the details and the date are recorded. That's for supervisor. Okay, next, supervisor need to keep important details such as supervisor ID, name, contact, number, date hire, and age. Then, customers can go to one or more branch. Branch is another name headquarters to company. Each branch have the following details such as branch ID, name, and location. Okay, next, customers' details need to be stored customer ID, first name, gender, and customer code, while each card can register by one and only one customer that consists card code, phone number, customer expiry date. Okay, last, a staff must work by one and only one branch with detail. For example, staff ID, name, contact, number, date hire, and age. Okay, so that's for 1.4, current system description.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and my name is Irfan Adauhan, and I will be presenting about 1.5 current system problem statement. Our problem is number one. We have three, and number one is physical data loss when it is caused by human errors such as misplacing the details of the items and the details of the customer's purchase. Second, digital data loss occurs when a sensitive information on a computer compromised due to viruses or employees tampering with the data. And number three, Access was unable to detect and modify IT service degradations.
Okay, next I will present about 2.1 Project Objectives. The objective of our projects are to solve our problem, which is the loss of massive data by creating a database management. By creating this database management, it can help the privacy data of the company kept safely. Secondly, is to improve our product, services, processes, systems, knowledge, and data. Therefore, we can develop a better environment for a company by selling goods to our customer and maintaining the profits being made out of our sales.
So right now I will explain to you about 2.2 proposed business rules. For the first one, each branch can be managed by one and only one supervisor, which means at one branch must consist one supervisor only. Each supervisor must manage one and only one branch. It means at one branch only one supervisor can manage the store. The second one, each branch may have one or more staff. This explains more than one staff can be at a branch or store. Each staff must work at one and only one branch. A staff is strictly prohibited to work at more than one branch. For the third, each branch may have one or more customer. One or more customers are allowed to go at a branch. Each customer may go to one or many branch. It means every branch can be filled with one or more customer. For the fourth, each customer may purchase one or more hardwares. This explains customers have no limitation on purchasing hardware. Each hardwares may be purchased by one or more customers. One hardware can be purchased by many customers. For the last one, each customer can register for one and only one membership card. A customer is only allowed to register for one membership card only. Each membership card must be registered by one and only one customer. This means a membership card must be owned by only one customer. That's all for the proposed business rule. We move to the next one. Thank you.
Okay, so for 2.3, proposed entity relationship diagram, or ERD, we have a total of 6 entities. Those are staff, supervisor, branch, customer, card, and hardware. In staff, we have staff ID, staff name, contact number, date hired, age. As for supervisor, we have supervisor ID, supervisor name, contact number, date hired, and age. For branch, we have branch ID, branch name, branch location. For customer, we have card ID, card code, card gender, card first name. For card, we have card code, card number, expiry date. For hardware, we have card node, hardware card, and hardware price. Next, our final report, finalized entity relationship diagram, or ERD. Uh, for staff, our primary key for staff is staff ID. For supervisor, our primary key is supervisor ID. For branch, we have for branch, our primary key is branch ID, and for customer, our primary key is class ID. For the foreign key is class code, class gender, and class first name only for customer. For card, we have primary key for our card code, and hardware, our primary key is class number. And for staff, it is connected to branch, many to one and only. For supervisor, one and only. Connected to branch, one and only. The branch is connected to customer, card, and hardware, which is one or more. Next is our data dictionary. We have a total of 6. It is referred to our EID. And for staff, the attribute is we have 5 attributes and 5 data types. For staff ID, data type is char, name is also char, contact number also char, that hired data type is date. For age is char, but for staff ID, the primary key is for staff ID only. For supervisor, supervisor ID is char and it is a primary key. Supervisor name, it is a varchar. Contact number is char, that hired is date, age is char. Branch, branch ID is the data type for branch ID is char and it is a primary key. Branch name, it is a varchar, branch location is also a varchar. For customer, class ID, data type. For customer ID, for class code, class gender, data types are char, but for class ID, it is a primary key. For class code, it is a foreign key. card first name is a varchar. For card code, phone number, and expiry date all are char, but for card code, it is a char but also a primary key. For hardware, we have three: card number, char, and it is a primary key. For hardware type, it is a varchar, but for hardware price, it is a char.
Okay, next, I talk about 3.3 SQL table creation in bracket DDL. DDL is statement of data definition language. So before we create a table, we must create a database in DB2. For our company is Access. So before we create table, we must type a command create database Access. Okay, after that we can create a table creation. Okay, table creation. Our table creation have a 6 because it refer to ERD. We have a 6 entity. Okay, staff, supervisor, branch, customer, card, and hardware. So to create a table staff, I create a table staff ID char 20 not null, staff name varchar 20, staff contact number char 20, date hire char 20, default null, H char, primary key. So the SQL command completed successfully. And then supervisor, I create table supervisor ID char 20 not null, supervisor underscore name varchar 20 not null, contact no char 20, date hire varchar 10, H char 2, primary key, supervisor ID. And then next branch. Create table branch underscore ID char 10, branch name char 30, branch location varchar 50 not null. Then the SQL command completed successfully. And then customer. Create table customer cast underscore code char 20, cast 30, cast underscore first name varchar 20. Alright, and then successfully. After that, card. Create table card. Card underscore code char 5 not null. Phone underscore no char 29. Expired date varchar 10. Default null. Primary key card underscore code. And then command completed successfully. And last, hardware. Create table hardware. Cast underscore no char 10 not null. Hardware underscore type varchar 30 not null. Hardware underscore price char 6, primary key cast underscore no. So the SQL command completed successfully. So that's for 3.3.
Okay, next I will briefly explain about 3.4 SQL insert data. And the first one here is staff table or table staff. Firstly, we need to insert into staff table. What do we need to insert is the attributes, which are staff ID, staff name, staff contact number, date hired, and age. The values that we needed are staff ID, staff name, their contact number, their date hired, and age. After we input all of these values into the table, we will get the result as so. This is the output for staff table, whereas the staff ID, the staff name, staff contact number, date hired, and age. The next is the table for supervisor. As so, we need to insert the attributes and the values into supervisor table. What the attributes that we needed are supervisor ID, supervisor name, contact number, date hired, and age. After we put in the supervisor values, we will get the result as such. Supervisor ID, supervisor name, contact number, date hired, and age. The difference between supervisor, and staff is. The difference is the attribute, the name of the table, supervisor and staff, which differentiates them both. But the attributes for staff and supervisor are the same, which are ID, name, contact number, date hired, and age. Next is table for branch. What the attributes that we need to insert into branch table are branch ID, branch name, and branch location. This is the big difference between those two tables. And the values that we needed are their IDs, the names, and location. The location what differentiates table branch from table staff and table supervisor. After we put in the values inside table branch, we will get the result such as this: the branch ID, the branch name, and the branch location.
So guys, right now I will explain to you the three table after the staff and the supervisor and the branch table. Right now we will move to others table, which is table customers. We need to insert the attributes for the customer, which is the attribute is cast code, cast gender, cast first name. And after we put the values, we will get the result like this. So this is the result for the table of customer. This is the cast code, the cast gender, and the cast first name. It's basically different with the first three table we see before. This table customer is, I say it is different because, as you can see, the attribute is the name of the table is already different, which is customers, and others is different, which is a branch, supervisor, and staff. So it's different entity with the customer. And also the attributes, as we can see right here, is also a big difference, which is this is code, gender, and first name. Like if I may remind you, before the table before this, the attribute was like ID and name and contact number and so on. But this time, as you can see, it was totally different. So we moving on to the table fifth, which is table card. For the table card, we need to insert the attributes, and the attributes is card code, phone number, expired date. And after we insert the values of the card, the table card, we will get the result. As we can see right here, this is the result. We have card code, phone number, and expired date, which is the attribute for table card. So this is also different. The name of the table is already different, but there is only one thing that same with the previous table, which is it use attributes code and others, and after that it was totally different, which is phone number and expiry date. As we can see right here, it's totally different with the customer. So right now we're moving on to the final table, which is table hardware. For the table hardware, we need to insert the like exactly the same. We need to insert the attributes for hardware, which is cast number, hardware type, hardware price. And after we insert the values, we can see the result as this. This is the result for table hardware. After we insert all the values, this is the attribute that we get: customer number, hardware type, and hardware price. So this is also different with the others table. Yeah, this is the result that we get. Thank you, and that's all for the table.
Okay, for our 3.5, yeah, this is the example of our SQL when we run our SQL. For 3.1, I'll give you the under here. I did select staff ID, staff name, date hired from staff where date hired equals to 11 of 11 of October 2009, ordered by staff ID, staff name, and date hired. And this is what I got: staff ID from our SQL. This is the ID, and this is the staff name, and this is when we hired our staff. And then for next one is our this is the example. We have our I did select s.supervisor ID, s.supervisor name, s.date hired, s.h from supervisor, s where sh larger than 49, order by s supervisor ID. So this is what I got: supervisor ID, supervisor name, and date, and this is the age. And the next one is select C cast code, C cast first name, C cast gender from customer C, where C cast gender equals to F, which is our gender, female. Order by cast code, cast first name, cast gender. This is what I got. This is the code, and this is the first name, and this is the gender, which is all of them are female, F.
So right now I will explain you for the 3.5, which is it was about retrieving data from multiple tables to maintaining data. So for the first one, I will show you the command that we use, which is select C card code, C phone number, C expired date from card, C where C expired date equals to 31 of December 2020, order by card code, phone number, expired date. So in the command that we use right here, C is refer to card. We use this as our condition. We refer this as C was referred as a card. So after we use all this input in this command, the output that we will get is right, like we see right here, is card code, phone number, and expire date, and we already records one records selected. Moving on to the next one, right here I will show you the command is select cache number, hardware type, hardware price from hardware where hardware price more than RM140 and cache number less than 700,000, order by cache number, hardware type, hardware price. So basically this was about the table hardware, the SQL right here. And this is the after we input all the command right here, we will get the output exactly right like this, which is cache number, hardware type, and hardware price, and we successfully record 9 records selected. So for here right now, I will explain you. The command we use here is select branch ID, branch name, branch location from branch where branch ID less or equal 700,000, order by branch ID, branch name, and branch location. So basically this was about the SQL right here. We show you it was about the table branch, from the ERD branch right here, and the output that we will get after we input all this, we will get like exactly like this, which is branch ID, branch name, and branch location, and we successfully will record 11's record selected. So that's all from me, Muhammad Azri. Thank you.
Okay, next I explain example of running SQL for a combination. So the first combination, I combine two topic, which is topic union and arithmetic. So I type a command, select average in bracket age as average from supervisor where age less than 55, union all select average in bracket age as average from supervisor where age more than 35. So the output is two records selected. So there is average. Okay. Next combination is a topic of arithmetic and retrieving data. So I combine two topic. Then I type the command is select s.stuff id, hardware underscore type, hardware underscore price, c.expired date from stuff s, hardware h, cut c where hardware underscore price equals 70 ringgit, and expired date is 31 December 2020, ordered by staff ID. Okay, after I enter the command, it's shown staff ID, hardware underscore type, hardware underscore price, and expired date. So the staff ID is different, hardware type same, price same, and expired date is same because the condition I type is hardware is 70 ringgit. So the hardware type is 70 ringgit is a printer. So it's shown a printer, hardware price 70 ringgit, and expired date is 31 December 2020. So the output get a 15 record selected. So that's of a combination arithmetic and retrieving data.
Okay, the next part is I want to explain about combination of two functions, that is column function and grouping and retrieving data. So what we need to do is select b.branch id, s.staff name, s.supervisor id equals to s.staff id from branch b, staff s, supervisor s, where s.supervisor id equals to 521032 and s.staff id equals to 326148, ordered by branch id. And then we will get the output branch id, staff name, and number 3. What is number 3? Number 3, whereas the output for supervisor id, where the supervisor id is not connected to branch. That's why we get the third column 0. Okay, next is maintaining data and union. Firstly, we need to type in select s.staff name, s.staff id, c.castgender, s.age from staff s, customer c, where c.castgender is equal to m, and s.age is less than 35. Order by staff name, staff id, and castgender. Okay, after where we declare the condition for this coding, for this database. Okay, the condition for gender for customer we set is M. M is for male, and the age for the staff is less than 35. So these are the conditions we set for the database. After that, we will get the output as so staff name, staff ID, caste, gender, and age. And the result came out tremendously according to the conditions, whereas customer gender or caste gender is referred to M as male, and age for the staff is less than 35. And we have 117 records selected. That is all from me. Thank you.